If you want to hire top-level employees for your company, but you don't want the entitlement of the Western employees who think because they studied gender studies, now they deserve $150,000 a year salary, you want to go to other countries around the world, whether that's remote workers or workers at an actual office. You can hire both. I'll tell you the countries that we've hired as a company here at Wealthy Expat, what countries have been amazing, what countries have been horrible, because some horrible countries are promoted as the best countries to hire people with the best English, but they've actually been a terrible loss for us. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rafael. I run Wealthy Expat. We help multimillionaires around the world protect their freedom and their wealth. We've helped over 500 clients over the last 3 years. The best options for us in our growth of our company, we've worked, as I said, with hundreds of clients, have all been in Eastern Europe. We're talking about Russia, Serbia, Romania. These countries have very hardworking people, specifically very hardworking women. In our case, hiring women has been better. It might depend on your particular niche, on your particular company, on your venture, men or women. You can hire both, you can test them out. I've seen that with women, they tend to not want to start their own thing. So if you hire a guy and he comes and he becomes the top sales guy or he becomes the top guy in your company, they tend to have that mindset of, oh, let me just build my own thing. If this guy already builds his own thing, I'm just going to build my own thing. And I don't want that in my company. I don't want to train someone for multiple years and then they go and steal everything and do their own thing. So women tend to stay in the same company. They tend to be very loyal to that company and then tend to grow with you. Obviously, you have to incentivize that with more salary, more bonuses. You do have to pay out a lot of money once they become better and better in your company. But in my experience, Eastern European women have worked extremely well. Now, one thing is you don't always want to hire them in their country of origin. Sometimes you want to hire them in a big city that attracts those type of people. So for example, Russians, in my experience, have done really well by hiring them in Dubai. Russians in Dubai tend to work really hard. You have to pay them a lot because Dubai is very expensive. But that's why you'll see a lot of Dubai real estate firms hiring Russians. They hire Russians because they know they're beautiful, they work hard, they tend to be very loyal to the company, they tend to care about the company and the goals and the mission of the company. So that's been great for us. Also, Serbia, one of the top countries for me to hire people, not just because of the fact that they speak English, because they speak really good English in general. It's just because of the culture in Serbia. And it aligns with the culture that I have and the culture of the company, which is no wokeness, traditional values, working hard, building a huge business, no entitlement. Overall, all these traditional mindset and these traditional values that women in Serbia and overall in Eastern Europe tend to have, they align with my business, they align with growing good brand, they align with growing together, not, oh, I studied Latin American studies, therefore I deserve everything, or this entitlement of not working by the pool. I recently saw a video on X of 2 women that are product managers working by the pool, not really working, not really doing much. People in Eastern Europe, they don't have that mentality. They want to work hard, they want to get what they deserve from the hours that they work, and overall it's going to be very beneficial for your company, in my experience. Another type of people that I've worked with a lot has been immigrants in Europe, and I'm talking about legal immigrants. Immigrants, for example, that their parents are from an immigrant background, and now they live in Europe, they live in Germany, they live in France, anything like that. You could hire them as contractors, so we've hired a lot of Arab immigrants in Europe, for example, Iraqis, who are living in Germany now, and they are legally in Germany, and they're already German citizens. We've hired them as contractors, and it's worked out really well. And again, it's because of that immigrant mentality. No wokeness, they're straight to the point, they want to work hard, they want to be committed, and overall hiring legal immigrants, not illegal immigrants that are just going to steal your money. In my experience, hiring Europeans that have an immigrant background has been great for our company. Now, Mexico, a country of hardworking people. It is a country with the lowest unemployment rate in the world. Pretty much every Mexican has a job or has multiple jobs. Mexicans will work very hard, whether that's in an office in Mexico or remotely. They tend to also, the ones that are applying for international jobs, speak relatively good English. Obviously, they border the United States, they've been to the US, they lived in the US at least 1 year or 2. And overall, Mexicans, in my experience, have been great to work with, specifically if you're trying to work with anything in Latin America. It could be the bridge towards Latin America if your business wants to expand into Latin America, or if your business is in Europe or in Asia and you wanted to expand to the US without paying US salary taxes, without having to deal with all the US regulations, without having to incorporate your company in the US. Mexico definitely is a great step to achieve that. Now, 3 countries that I've heard great things about from my friends and my partners, and that's Brazil, Romania, and Poland. 3 countries where people work really hard. They tend to, if they're interested in international jobs, have good English and overall be a great asset to the company. I personally have not tested these 3 countries, but you could test them out yourself. And overall, I've read from many experiences online that these 3 countries have been great to hire remote workers. And even in an office, let's say you open an office in Bucharest for any reason, and you hire Romanian people, they tend to be a great asset to your company. Now, if you want to hire a huge team, specifically for people that have to do repeatable tasks, let's say you have an e-commerce business and you need someone to set up a Shopify store, you need someone to find some products for you to sell, things that are repeatable, that don't need super high-level skill, you don't need the best English, you just need someone that's going to work for a low salary and it's going to do the same thing over and over again. For me, that's been Philippines, has worked out really well. Pakistan, to an extent. In Dubai, if you're hiring a driver, I highly recommend you hire Pakistani drivers. They've been great. Again, repeatable tasks, things that can be done again and again for the lowest salary possible. And then India, again, great for repeatable tasks. They tend to have okay English. I haven't hired that many people from India, 1 or 2 only, and they tend to be good in customer service if they have good English, if they don't have that much of an Indian accent. Overall, I tend to not hire that much from these 3 countries, but if you're looking for a huge team of people that do the same thing over and over again, they could work, and you're also not spending that much on salaries. And the last country that I'm going to mention here, because I've tried hiring from this country, and a lot of people say it's amazing, and people speak English, and it wasn't a great experience for me. I really don't recommend it, and that is the Republic of Georgia. A lot of people say that Georgia is great for starting a business or hiring people. In my experience, they're not really committed. They are way worse than Serbians, they're way worse than Russians, and overall, they don't really care that much about your company. The English is all right, but it's not better than Serbians, it's not better than Romanians, and overall, wasn't that great of an experience. So for me, Georgia, out of this list, if you want to try it yourself, maybe you had great experiences with Georgians, then let me know in the comments below. And 2 things that I will say to find a great employee, regardless of where they are in the world, is to hire them older than 30. In my experience, that's been the best, specifically if you're hiring a woman. If she's 31 to 40, she'll work a lot harder than a 22-year-old who's trying to really find a sugar daddy instead of having a real job. So 30 plus has been the best. And also if they've already worked for an international company similar to yours. So if you run an international crypto company with 40 employees and they already worked for some exchange, or they understand crypto, they really understand your industry, regardless of where they're from, they're much more likely to do a great job if they already have experience in your industry. Now that you know how to find top-level employees, how do you find a top-level executive assistant, somebody that will make your life easier, that will make your life simpler, and will do anything to save or rescue your life? Check out this video right here on how to find a top-level executive assistant, how I found mine, and the exact process so you can find your perfect assistant. Check it out right here.